basically they got into private lending and now just merged the two under one new name, Cap One Lending.
Got it.
Long story short.
All right, guys, episode 69 of Yellow Color Glasses, and we have another awesome guest on today, Dalton O'Donnell, and we're going to tell you a little bit about what he does, where he's from, and just what he's got going on. So I know he's super busy. He was awesome enough to come join us today, and so Cap One Lending, right?
Yep.
That's the company. Mm-hmm. Okay. So before we get going, we always do a review. I'm going to pull up a quick review here. Let's see. Oh, man. I should have had this ready to go.
You have so many to pick from.
We do have some to pick from. I could honestly make one up, and it would probably be okay, but I'm not going to do that.
I'll get you one later today.
Yeah, dude. We had a lot of people really read us a ton of reviews.
Yeah, you guys got 5 stars, over 100,
We do.
100 reviews on Google. That's pretty impressive.
Yes. Okay. We're gonna get to the review later. We're gonna bring that up. I'm gonna bring that. I'll put that in at the end of the episode.
Right.
So, one of the things that we do is when we start this out, we always talk about a peak and a pit. And so, peak is what we've got going on, going good, things that are going great, and then pit something that maybe is kind of not going great right now. So, peak for me, I coach high school basketball too, and high school girls basketball. And so we had 3 games this week. We're already like 5 games into the season. So we had a good week. We're 4-1 right now, and we've had a good start, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. And we also had a really, really busy week at the office and got a lot of stuff knocked out there too. So
Nice.
close some business. So it was a busy week. It went fast, but it was a really, really good week. So happy with that. What about you, man? What you got going good?
Yeah, man. Busy, which is always good, right? I'd rather be too busy than not busy at all. But I've really kind of I'm building the real estate investor book of business within my business. And that's awesome. And that's really taken off, helping a lot of investors do like fix and flip loans and stuff like that. So really getting some progress there, and that's starting to snowball, and just people are starting to refer me out. Because I kind of became a staple in the community for those. So that's definitely the peak for the week, the last couple of weeks.
Good deal, dude. Well, pit-wise, man, dude, it's just the weather. Like this is, I kind of laughed when I got in here to the office this morning because Jake and Michaela, they're in Mexico. And I was like, gosh, they're leaving that. And they're going to have to come back. And they're landing today at like 5:30. And they're going to land, and it's going to be all icy and gross.
Oh, I know.
But other than that, man, it just kind of kills your mood sometimes if you let it. So weather's not good today. But everything else, man, I don't really have much bad stuff happening. So.
Yeah, I know, right? Life's good. Yeah, I'd say my pit is just it's like another good problem to have kind of deal. And it's just, finding enough time in the day to get what I want to get done, and free up time to do stuff like this and work out, be with the family, and so just fine-tuning certain areas to get a little bit more efficient, I would say, just so then I don't have to stay in the office till 6. I get out there at 5 and get an extra hour to be with the fam. So
yeah, man, for sure. So
but that's getting better,
and that's what I want. So that's where I want to start with things. So Cap One Lending, you're working with loans, flips, all that stuff. Where'd you start? Like, how old are you? Where'd you start? What's your journey kind of been like into that whole field?
Yeah, man, it's quite a journey. I'm 30 years old. I grew up in Lee Summit, originally from Detroit, but grew up in Lee Summit. Went to Lee Summit North, graduated in 11, went to Westminster College, played football, graduated there in 15 in business and finance. And then instantly went into financial advising. So got my Series 7, 66, life and health, did a little bit of life insurance and stuff like that. And ultimately I was drawn into that is because I wanted to help people become wealthy, right? I knew what it was like growing up to have no money where the lights are turned off and to have a lot of money eating crab. And it was just a cycle, right? It was the roller coaster, which became very stressful. And I saw the stress it put on my family and my mom, my dad, my siblings, And I'm like, I don't want that for myself. And I want it, if I could help other people achieve financial freedom, then like my purpose is filled. Like my tank's full, right? The money will come later if I can just serve others and help them. And so that's what really drew me into finance. So I was a financial advisor for a couple of years, and then got into sales. I never wanted to be into sales, but then I learned more of just the skill set of being able to properly communicate, problem solve, critical think, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So got into actually commercial trucking sales. So I was selling semi-trucks, trailers, tractors.
Okay.
It was a management program to get me into a GM spot of a branch of Aero truck sales.
Okay.
And then from there up the ladder into the Volvo group, because they're owned by the Volvo group.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I loved it. It was great training. Learned everything about business. Learned a little bit about commercial financing as well with those with selling equipment. And then from there, I found now my wife, love of my life, and her dad owned a car dealership. And at the time we were just dating, and he's like, you got to come work for me. You got to come work for me. You got to come work for me. I kept telling him no. But on the third time, he's like, I will never ask you again if you tell me no 3 times. You know, the rule 3 there. And I just had a good gut feeling that it was the right decision. You know, his goal was to bring me in, train me on everything he knew, and then open up multiple dealerships, run the branch essentially first. And good experience. He's a master business guru. Has had companies with 400 or 500 employees, you know, multimillionaire, just really successful in business. So I'm like, yeah, I want to learn from you. Whatever you have in store for me, let's go. And so I did that for a while and got really good at the financing side, like getting people approved.
Yeah.
And back into that financing, that's kind of where my passion is. I was running the branch, running all the financing, running sales, marketing, and did that for about 3.5 years. And then just kind of was like, the work-life balance wasn't there, right? And I wanted to grow a family, be there with my wife, go on vacations, be able to work remote if I wanted to, just kind of have a little bit more freedom. And that's what drew me into mortgages, is because you can have that freedom but still help people with the finance side, right? Getting them approved, helping them find a house, which, as we both know, real estate is a huge stepping stone into building net worth and building wealth. I mean, it's single-handedly for me been my greatest chip of the rock towards that nest egg with owning just my own primary home. Yeah. And then, of course, the lending side as well helps. But and then ever since then, I haven't looked back, man. I'm in love. I'm passionate about it. I love working with people, getting them approved, helping them close on the home, whether it's their first home or their investment home. It's very rewarding. Yeah. And it's a lot of critical thinking, problem solving, which I'm addicted to. So,
Dude, you had a lot of experience and training in different areas, different things. So, why did it take you 3 times? Why did it take him asking you 3 times to do that? Were you just kind of settled? Like, were you just kind of in a groove, making really good money? You probably didn't want to mess anything up.
I mean, money was decent. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was a good benefits, good company, more of a corporate kind of job. And I was doing good. I was starting to, really get some sales underneath my belt. But the really biggest thing was, it's used car sales. Yeah. And I was a little nervous about that. And also I was going to be working with my girlfriend at the time. Yeah. So it was a big risk, right? It was burn the boats, jump off the cliff. It was either going to work and we were going to be, in the sunset running off, happily married.
Or you were going to hate each other.
Or we were going to be done, right? Or just I'd lose a job and a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And, I didn't have that peace of mind in the beginning, and I just kept praying about it. And eventually I just kind of felt that peace and that I trusted my gut. I just had a good gut feeling at that time. I have a couple other mentors that are very successful that started in car sales. And I know it's one of the hardest places to sell something because you're already at a disadvantage. You're a used car salesman, right? They're already
you're in the quotes.
Yeah. I mean, the bad guys ruined it for the good ones, and they already have a bad reputation. So you got to not only just build rapport with a stranger, but you have to overcome that stereotype of that you're not a sleazy car sales guy. Yeah. And so, but it makes you better, right? It makes you a better communicator, better salesperson, sales professional. So I was like, I know that I don't know. Do you follow Andy Frisella? Is that ring a
Yeah.
bell? Yeah. So he was one big thing he was always about is like being able to influence or properly communicate and being able to manage people or will make you successful. And sales is a great place to learn how to influence and communicate and be a good motivator, I guess, influencer. And then I was also going to get that management experience with managing a team underneath me.
So, do you have a team underneath you right now with what you currently do?
Yeah,
it's kind of a one-man show.
It's a little bit of both. I have a processor, and then we have designated underwriters that work with everybody. The processor works with everyone as well. And I did have a team. When rates went up, I cut back, just kind of cut cost, and went back to more of a one-man show. But I'm getting back to that spot where it's probably time to bring someone on. There's a couple people within Cap One Lending that I am kind of farming some loans out to help me because I'm getting busier. So whether that team is just recruiting them to come in and take some of the business and, we just share that profit, or I bring in a sole person just, underneath me. We're about to be in that stage where we're starting to build a team again.
So tell us a little bit about Cap One Lending, because I listen to sports radio all the time. So I have grown up hearing the commercial.
Yeah.
What it was, and you don't have to go through all the history and stuff, but they've been around a long time. Just kind of have a different name now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So the owners and founders. I might give you a little history, anyways.
Okay.
Charles and Brian Weatherman were the owners and founders of A1 Mortgage.
Okay.
And then basically they got into private lending and now just merged the two under one new name, Cap One Lending.
Got it.
Long story short.
Still have the same jingle too.
Yep. He's actually at the radio station right now cutting a new ad. But yeah, same jingle, everything. We got the Freedom Loan, which is an amazing loan. I have it on my own house. It pays off your home in like half the time or less without doing anything different. And we're a very white glove boutique service. So I'm really the point of contact from start to finish. And what that does, although having the team is nice, it creates more freedom for me and allows me to scale a little bit more. At the same time, keeping the team small and keeping me very involved will allow a smaller margin of error. There's so many things that can go wrong in the loan process. You hear deals all the time that fall through last minute and it really comes down to the loan officer didn't catch something.
Yeah.
They'll blame it on the underwriter, they'll blame it on title, whatever. Really, it comes down to the loan officer has to be very thorough and diligent up front to catch anything that might ruin the deal down the road. Yeah. So by me being kind of the one guy from start to finish, I know the deal inside and out, and by the time I submit it underwriting, it needs just like a couple things to get the clear to close. So that is kind of our white glove, hands-on boutique service. So we're just really good at what we do, and our success rate's high. And the volume might not be there, but the referrals are there because we do such a good job from each person.
The amount of flips and builders risk that were coming through. Man, that was kind of keeping me busy for a little bit.
Yeah.
All the different people that are into that.
Yeah.
And you see too. Well, we see it like when you're talking about all the things that can go wrong. The insurance piece of it is just one little piece of it, and oftentimes that's like maybe the last step. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, man. It feels like everybody's different. It feels like everybody that we work with has a little bit different underwriting requirements. They want maybe this kind of liability coverage, this property coverage. They want so that piece of things, and having somebody that, like, even as we've talked, you've gotten more educated on, okay, hey, this is how this works, and it's helped me too, and just being able to understand that for the customer, because that's another big piece of it is just the insurance piece at the end. So dude, you're doing really well. I know that, like, if a couple of the guys that, like Matt Webb using you, is he still using you for a lot of stuff?
Oh yeah.
So
we do a lot of business together.
There's people like that are coming to you. You're obviously doing a really good job. So
yeah, thanks, man.
What about the family? What about the family life? So I know you and I have talked a little bit. You got twins, right?
Nope. So I got got a 1-year-old and then another on the way that's due May 20th.
Got it.
Yep. So we'll have 202. So close to twins, right?
Well, maybe that's what it was. Yeah. Maybe that's what it was, because ours were 202 as well.
Yeah.
And what boy, girl?
Boy, yeah. We just found out it's a girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you actually will probably. We haven't even made an announcement yet. So
Okay.
whoever
this
tunes
won't
in.
go out. This won't go out till Wednesday of next week.
Yeah.
And if you want us to edit that out, we can.
No, we'll leave it. We'll it'll be a little like, what? You know?
Yeah, the congratulations.
Yeah.
There's a pink Power Rangers thing up there.
There
too,
we
so
go. Perfect.
Pink. It was meant to be.
Yep.
So
What about you? Boy, girl, boys?
boys, both boys.
Yep.
And so it's funny. Our oldest is 6. He's getting ready to turn 7. And he's actually the smaller one. His little brother's 22 months behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And we just took the younger one yesterday for a wellness visit, and he's in like the 85th percentile for everything.
Yeah.
And Macklin, our oldest, he's in like the 10th or 15th.
Oh, really?
So people see them, and they're always asking, are they twins? Because they're like the same size.
Yeah.
And dude, it's fun. It'll be interesting how the 2 under 2 with the boy and the girl differ.
Yeah.
Because my two, man, they just want to beat the crap out of each other all the time. Like it's,
Boys. Boys.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's nonstop. They're constantly fighting, but they're also like best friends.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we were hoping for that, but my sister's 2.5 years younger than me, and I was the oldest, and then her. So, and that was fine. I mean, we still played and had fun, and we're friends. So, we also antagonize each other. But one thing that I want to do is just be very intentional to my son. It's like, what's your job? Protect sister, right? What's your job? Protect sister. And then as he gets older, what's your job? Protect mom, protect sister. Like, just kind of instill the being a man and being a protector of your family and your ones that are in your circle, whether they piss you off or not. At the end of the day, hey, you guys get in a fight. What's your job? What's your job? Protect sister.
Yeah, and
right?
I think that, I would think that almost that should come naturally, right?
I know, but it doesn't. I don't think it does. Me and my sister fought a lot growing up, and I just think, love my dad, great dad, but I think he could have probably been a little bit more intentional with, hey, what's your job? And just repeat that and get it instilled, tattooed in my brain. So it's just, if we get into it and we're fighting, I got to remember, okay, hey, this isn't we're not against each other, we're for each other. We're on the same team, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So let's see how it works.
What
and they'll probably still beat the crap out of each other and fight,
they will,
antagonize. But
and that's why for several years, I was trying to convince a man. I'm like, let's try for one more, because I really wanted a little girl.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be perfect to have 2 older brothers.
Yeah.
Even though you can't, who knows? We got another boy.
Not in your control.
I think that's pretty much out of the cards now, though. She's like, nah, we're good. So, So you made the transition over to doing what you're doing, and you mentioned having a little bit more freedom, right? Life balance, that kind of thing. So does your wife stay at home? What's she do?
No, she's got a pretty badass role, actually. So she's at the dealership still.
Okay.
She's been there since day one. They've been in business 7 years now. Over there, actually not too far off 7 Highway.
Okay.
Munsterman Automotive Group in Blue Springs.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But she is the controller, the CFO, accountant, just really she does a lot, wears a lot of hats, small business, as we all do in the small businesses. And does a lot of stuff with title work, with the LLC, like the business, legal side, payroll, you name it.
Okay.
Really just a lot of the back end stuff that you need.
Yeah.
But necessarily might not be for me and you.
For sure.
Ruby might be more in the front lines. She's in the back side, the back end of it. But yeah, so yeah, she's been doing that. She's full time and taking care of Oliver. He's not in daycare or anything. So luckily her dad owns it, so she brings him to the dealership. Grandma takes him a few days a week. So and now she's pregnant too, and always not feeling too good. So she is superwoman. She's the superhero in our life right now, and I'm the sidekick. Yeah. But she does a lot and keeps kind of the household in order on top of working and taking care of Oliver. So she's awesome. Luckily she has a little flexibility with her dad owning it, and she's so efficient at what she does. She can go to the office, be there for 3 hours, and get the whole day worth of work done in 3 hours. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, and the reason I asked that question, so we have, Amanda and myself, and then Jake and Michaela, and so we all were from really different fields when we started the agency, and we have the opportunity to work with each other every day, and so that was a question I had too for you, is doing what you do. Are you ever in a situation, or are you guys in a spot where you ever think about being able to work together, or is that ever in the cards, or is that something that you guys have ever thought about? Or?
Yeah. I loved working with her. We worked great together.
Yeah.
And so ever since I got in the mortgage business, I said, hey, if you ever want to get out of the car dealership side, I mean, it might, break your dad's heart, but if that's what you want, we could do something together with mortgages. Like, I need the help, right? And she's good at certain things, and it could be things that aren't really time consuming, and it's just kind of clerical stuff in the background, so she can still, because whenever the second baby's born, she is going to quit and be a full-time stay-at-home mom.
Gotcha.
Hopefully we can get her into a rhythm and a routine where maybe when the kids go down, she helps me with some marketing stuff, or just managing my Facebook, or anything that you can do for an hour or two a day. And then once the kids get older, my goal is to hopefully bring her in a little bit more, because she's so sharp that I don't want I want to help her keep that knife sharp, right? Like keep the business juices flowing, because she's got a lot of great ideas. I bounce a lot of things off of her. We brainstorm together all the time for my business. And so hopefully, that would be my goal and my dream, is that she does come and help me out. But who knows, maybe we'll just keep popping out kids, and she's got her hands full, and that's fine too.
No, it is awesome. So like, most people don't get the opportunity to have that, and there's so many people. We've had this conversation.
People can't do it, right?
That's the thing. And we've had this conversation with other people on the podcast before too, and a lot of people will look at us and they're like, how do you guys work with your spouse every day? And it's, I don't know, like for us, it's awesome. Like we get to see each other way more than we did before, than most people do. And it has its challenges, but overall I wouldn't change that at all. So I don't ever really want to go do anything again where we're separate. So it's a really awesome thing.
Yeah, it was really hard. That was probably the hardest thing leaving the dealership, was us not being, within the same proximity and seeing each other. Like, even if it's a small 10-minute break for lunch, right?
Yeah.
And we go in the back office and eat together and chat.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome, And it does help the relationship, in my opinion. Yeah, you have to learn to wear different hats, right? It's like, okay, we are coworkers right now, and now we're back to husband and wife. Like, you have to switch those hats interchangeably, like in most small businesses and just in life in general. But once you figure that out, it's easy, and as long as you get on the same page. But yeah, that was the hardest thing, was just then now we only saw each other for a few hours a day, rather than 12 hours a day or whatever.
I'm trying to find a review here. No, dude, it is. Yeah, I can't say enough about that. So goals wise, you mentioned scalability. You mentioned having the team. You're really hands on. Having a small team helps with a little bit of scalability. What kind of next couple of years does that outlook? Like, what's the outlook for you?
Yeah.
You want to change it up, or you want to get bigger? You want to kind of keep things where they're at? What's all that look like?
Yeah, things can always change, right? But my goal right now is to build the investor side of the business, to get a team underneath me to run with that. I'll always find time and make room for people that want to buy a home, right? First-time home buyers, consecutive upgrading their house because their family's getting bigger, buying that vacation home in Florida, whatever that may be. I'll always take that on because I know it like the back of my hand, and it's easy. It's a little bit more time-consuming, but it's easy. But I really want to be a staple in the Kansas City community for real estate investing. So going to build that team, kind of roll into more probably a manager role. Still very hands-on and in the trenches. But if I get into a manager role, the goal is to, go to the board, not the board, but the owners, is 3 of them, and try to buy in and be a partner, a managing partner, which is on the board. Like whenever it is, as long as I get into that manager role, I can buy in. So that's the long-term goal. But with the next couple of years is get a team underneath me, get that process going, get the investor department that I am running, and then, have the funds to buy into the dealership, the lending company. So
that's awesome.
Cap One, yep.
Do that. Well, you're going to do it. I can already tell that. So,
thanks, brother.
Man, what else? What do you think the biggest challenges that you see though with the investment side of things are? Like, because when everybody talks about homes and loans, everybody talks about your regular 30-year mortgages and the rates and all that stuff. How does that differ at all on investment properties? And if so, or if it doesn't, like what are the similarities and on how all that stuff works?
Yeah, so rates and fees are a little bit higher. The agencies and just the banks charge a little bit more, a little bit higher risk. If you miss a payment, it's not like you're losing your home, right? You're not getting evicted. You're just losing one of your real estate assets, which if you're, got it in an LLC, it's really not that big of a deal, but usually it's going to hurt your credit. But anyhow, so a little bit higher rates and fees on that. Nothing much, though. You can still be profitable. Long term, you're still going to build a lot of net worth because of the appreciation and tax advantages. But I would say the biggest two hurdles right now are finding the properties. You can still find them through like a wholesaler and still make money, still make 30, 50 grand on a flip, or buy it and still get cash flow.
Yeah.
But if you could find beat out the middleman and go straight to the source, you're going to really make a lot of money. But you can still do volume and make up for that using wholesalers, which is fine. That's what we do a lot of. But so I would say finding the property, and then also having to put enough cash down to cash flow, because rates are higher. The amount of money you're making per month isn't as high as it was 2 years ago, right? If you're paying 7% on investment property, you might only be making $200-300 a month for cash flow, putting 25% down.
Yeah.
It could be even less in some of the nicer areas with a little bit higher purchase price. But those higher purchase prices, you're going to typically have better appreciation and a higher return on the appreciation over time. So, I would just say cash flow and finding the properties are the biggest challenges right now, but we still are very busy, and there's still people, like typically in December and January, February, it slows down just because holidays, it's cold out, etc. Well, we're still really busy. Investors get active because they know, okay, we're going to find some properties that need to be offloaded, right? These people need to sell because they're moving, they're getting a divorce, they're unfortunately dying, and now it's through probate. So they're active, they're looking for the property. So investors get busy around this time because they know you get better deals, which I would give that same advice to a first-time home buyer. Don't sit on the sidelines. A lot of people are saying rates are going to drop mid to end of next year. Don't wait for that, because as soon as you wait for that, the prices are going to go up, or they'll stay the same, and you'll be in a bidding war where you're having to offer 20, 30, 50 grand over asking and pay that cash. So, bite the bullet on a little bit higher payment now, refi down the road, get the house at a good price, maybe even get closing costs paid for, get them to pay your rate down. There's a lot of negotiation power right now for buyers if you are active, and there's a lot better deals, and you're just going to win long-term better if you buy now rather than waiting for rates to drop. So that's my biggest piece of advice for anybody, investor or primary home buyer.
That's a good point, and it's crazy too, because we've also had this conversation before, but it's about our generation and the interest rates that we were used to and seeing are once in a lifetime thing. They're still right now way better than historically.
Oh, yeah.
I remember my parents were talking about a 20% interest rate on the first house, something like that. It's like it is what it is. Yeah. It is what it is. And I didn't really think about what you just said on, the interest rates might be higher, but the competition and the bidding war that's going to take place, price increases that take place on, interest rate dropping by a couple percent here and there.
Oh, yeah.
It's just either way you're spending more money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good point. And I would say too, if people are probably selling their house right now, they probably really need to sell. Yeah. Otherwise they wouldn't really be doing it. So those are good points. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on here. I do have a review that I want to read real quick since I didn't have it ready to go when we started. And this is from Rachel W. She said, the best insurance team to work with, hands down. They're professional, knowledgeable, and super, super friendly. Switching from my previous carrier was quick and easy. They ended up saving my family hundreds of dollars annually while actually giving us better coverage. Always quick to respond and to answer any questions or requests. Can't say enough of good things about this team. My family will be customers for life. So thank you, Rachel, for that review. Guys, the reviews mean a lot. I mean, we can't tell you how many people were like, how'd you hear about us? We typed it into Google and it popped up, and you had a bunch of 5-star reviews, so we went there. So that's taken a little bit of time, but I think we're, maybe 150 now, something like that. So
it's up there.
We need to get those boosted up again. It's been
still
a while.
5 out of 5, which is good. I think we're at like 4.9, one person. But speaking of reviews, we actually got a review contest going on right now. and the winner gets $500 cash. So I'm in second place, but I'm down by like 6 or 7 reviews. So,
Okay.
selfish plug here. Cap One Lending. Go to Google, Cap One Lending. Write a review. Drop my name. It could just be nothing and just say Dalton's awesome.
There you go. Exactly.
But
you got
trying to get that Christmas cash,
There you go, dude. Are you a big football fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's funny because when people see these, if we do it on a Friday,
Yeah.
we've always got our Chiefs stuff on. So
Yeah.
it'll be Wednesday when people see this, and they'll be like, "Why is he wearing a Chiefs jersey?"
Oh,
But,
yeah.
Yeah, it's Red Friday. So
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I am.
I know. I was
Big
picking out the
game.
outfit. I'm like, man, I need a long sleeve button up Chief shirt. That would be.
No, it's freaking
Nice.
high, dude. Like $85 they're out.
Oh, yeah.
But I know I need to. I keep wanting to get one
On
of
the
those.
lower
It's like
end.
the ketchup. You know the ketchup with the Mahomes and the Kelsey button ups that are like
No.
the faces are on it.
I
And
haven't
stuff.
seen that. No.
Yeah, but anyway, man, you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, man. I don't think so. I appreciate you coming on. I mean, it's been awesome working with you. You're great at what you do. So for anybody watching, I mean, I've got to experience firsthand what you and your team can do. You're fast. You're quick. You've been helping out our clients, getting them fair rates, and just allowing them to grow their portfolios on the real estate investing side. So, no, I appreciate you having me coming on. I'm looking forward to keep working with you and getting some deals done. And
Yeah.
I just appreciate you.
Well, man, we appreciate you too, and that's one of those things too. Like it's even been, it's been a learning thing for me because before when Matt was, Matt Webb, he sends a lot of stuff our way, and when he was sending a lot of those at the beginning, they were a certain type. Well, then when he started working with you, you guys had a little bit different requirements. So having somebody that's kind of like you said in the trenches from start to finish, that's the same point of contact. I think you and I have both learned a lot as we've done 2 or 3 of these.
Yeah.
And to make it even that much quicker, we know right away, hey, this is the company we got to go to.
Yeah.
Because this is the requirements.
Yep.
Because on the flip side, things can get tricky.
Yeah.
And certain companies dude, insurance is just nuts.
Yeah.
Like insurance companies don't even want to write a single home right now. Like they want home auto together. On the flip side, obviously,
Yeah.
that's going to be different. But it's just constantly changing. So anyway, good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Hope you like the setup too. I know you've got
Oh,
your own podcast. Have you got any podcasts done yet? Or
Yeah, I got one. I filmed it. It was because I just took my mics and my cameras and went to actually at Reese Nichols' office downtown Lee Summit.
Okay.
We filmed one there. So I got one underneath the belt. I'm trying to fine tune my setup in my office. So coming here and seeing what you got definitely will help. Making the background look a little swaggy like yours. Got a little bit smaller setup, so I gotta get creative there. But yeah, no, we're hopefully gonna keep doing it. I want to do it once a week, like how you're doing, or at least once every other week, and then just kind of interview people in the community, learn from them, help them grow their social media platforms.
Yeah.
Same kind of goals that you have. Yeah.
Yeah, and the background stuff. That was all the girls. The girls.
I know I might need to hire them
Sons.
to come help me out.
Yeah,
They have that vision, that touch.
Yeah.
Guys are just like, this looks good.
Yeah, Jake and I were like, they're asking us what we think, and we it looks good.
Yeah,
looks good.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, thank you guys for tuning in, and that was episode 69 of Yellow Colored Glasses. Dalton O'Donnell with Cap One Lending. Go leave a review.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.